We've seen our fair share of crappy arcs. Just mention Boat to any Naruto fan and you'll be met with either vein-bursting rage or Vietnam flashbacks. Now the question is, what makes an arc great? What makes arcs like the Android Saga in Dragon Ball Z, the Pain arc in Naruto, or the Return to Shinganshia arc so impactful? While people say that the Entertainment District or Mugen Train is the best arc in Demon Slayer, chocked full of moments that have rooted themselves into our memories, I want to talk about the arc that goes against the grain for the rest of the show, and what I think is one of the best Demon Slayer has to offer. Demon Slayer is going to finish with 4 seasons, 5 movies, and over 200 chapters full of iconic moments. But why do I think this little lightning bolt full of insecurity and patheticness possesses one of the best arcs in Demon Slayer? Well, before you weebs grab your pitchforks and wooden katanas you got at Tokyo Lifestyle, may I please just have a chance to defend myself? Everyone wants to be Tanjiro Rengoku, but you look at Zenitsu, and all you ever see is a loser, a joke, the one bringing up the rear. Zenitsu stands out to me not because he is a descendant of a mighty name, not because he is the kind of person you would follow to the ends of the earth, heck, he isn't even a person you like when you first meet him. But he feels so human. And to be honest, the only other people I would say the same to are about Giyu and Mitsuri. His fear and, to be honest, fair reaction to having to fight demons feels real. You see him as this hopeless crybaby who cops out of anything that would bring him pain, but that doesn't mean that's who he wants to be. These words came out of the depths of Zenitsu's heart, secretly putting in extra hours of training to show he can be something, but frustrated he has nothing to show for it. It eats away at him and his views of himself, hating who he is and not being the person he knows he should be. But at the same time, Zenitsu has had no one. No mother, father, or mentor to see him through life, guiding and supporting him through the ups and downs of growing. Knowing this, maybe his obsession with being a simp makes some sense. To most, a wife is a friend, a companion, someone you love and they see you for who you are, regardless of whether you are on the mountaintop or the deepest valley. And the biggest thing is that you stay by each other's side. So for Zenitsu, how was a child supposed to grow with no one? And I know you might say, but what about Inosuke? He has no one, and by God, this man has enough pride and confidence to rule a small nation. And to that I say, fair. Some people are just like that. But Zenitsu isn't. People have left him when he has shown weakness, maybe instilling in him this idea of, if I can act like this, if I can help one person, they won't leave me. Which sadly isn't always the case. But Gramps stayed with him, regardless of the amount of times he tried to run away and give up. Maybe giving Zenitsu some hope that some people will always love you for who you are, and no matter where you are at. Zenitsu doesn't have any drastic changes throughout the seasons, but don't be mistaken thinking nothing happened. It has been nearly a year since we first saw Zenitsu. Shout out to Kequinox on Reddit for actually doing the math. We see him go from season 1 being afraid to enter a house to help a child who was kidnapped by a demon, to then stepping in to help Tengen with his mission, and even going on solo missions. The culmination of his arc begins with the moments leading up to his fight in the Infinite Castle. Zenitsu receives news that Gramps has committed seppuku with no kaishakunin, meaning he died a slow, agonizing death, all alone in his final moments. Fueled by this look of vengeance, changing his whole demeanor from the usual overexpressive nature we know to that of a stoic warrior seeking only one thing. We learn that Zenitsu's crusade is to kill his old peer turned demon, Kaigaku. Kaigaku is not only Zenitsu's old peer, but I say he's his mirror as well. Kaigaku trained at the same time as Zenitsu to inherit the mantle of Thunder Hashira, but Kaigaku isn't kind or understanding. He instead acts as if he is a mighty person, when in reality, he's more of a coward than Zenitsu ever was in the beginning. Zenitsu was the one born with no one, yet chose to accept love and sacrifice when he found it, while Kaigaku had those who loved him, but instead discarded them to be killed by a demon for his own lonely survival, ultimately becoming a creature of the night. When the two come face to face once again in the Infinite Castle, Kaigaku thought of Zenitsu for who he was, but that is a person has been left in the past. Zenitsu defeating his old peer is the end of his whole journey, going from the coward with a well of potential, who became a geyser of talent. So why do I think Zenitsu has one of the best arcs in Demon Slayer? Well, to sum it up in one sentence, we see this scared, lonely child crying at every challenge become a pillar of support to those close to him, and willing to sacrifice himself to keep them safe. Plus, bro got a girl in the end marrying Nezuko, so it seems to have all worked out for him.